I'm due to do laundry probably in a couple days to a week. So, and I'm right by one of the laundry mats I've used before. So if I really need to jump, I can always just do laundry for the day and then just charge it in the laundromat. I'm sure they have outlets I can use. So I think when you're presented with like difficult situations, you flex a muscle of problem solving all the time. And it's a skill that I've learned to really appreciate, honestly, because a lot of times I don't even really put much effort or time into solving different problems, and I just, what else is around, what else can I use, and it's hard to think back, a few years ago. I don't think I was like this. I don't think, solutions came as naturally to me as they do now after being in the van for 6 months, and basically like running things and working on content and making money, doing deliveries and stuff, but like always running on really thin margins for everything. And whenever I got, less money than, I was comfortable with, or less things than I was comfortable with, I just kind of like sat back, meditated, thought about how I would tackle whatever problem it was, and realized that, there's different solutions, different things that I wouldn't have considered otherwise. And I'm grateful for it, but it doesn't just happen. It happens by doing things like this. 1, 2, 3. I'm learning about selling like life and health insurance, and I'm like reading about all these like court cases and these acts that like help develop the insurance agency or insurance industry. And what the hell was the one I just read? Wait, hold on a second. The act that I just read about, it was from 1999. It's the Financial Services Modernization Act. And like before this act, you weren't allowed to work in the banking industry and the financial services selling, and this industry of selling financial services. And like there was an act before that that basically prevented people from doing this because of how much fucking leverage knowledge in those two areas would, I guess, give a person. And this act in 1999, the Financial Service Modernization Act, like allowed people to do that. So only 20 years ago could you learn about banking, like work in the banking industry and work in the fucking financial in the industry that sells financial services, because of how much fucking leverage it gives a person. That is fucking awesome. That's like saying like 20 years ago, like 30 years ago, you weren't allowed to learn fucking civil engineering and mechanical engineering. You can't work in the fucking civil engineering field and you can't work in the mechanical engineering field because of how much fucking leverage those two knowledge bases would give you. You couldn't do that you could only do that as of 20 fucking years ago. That's mind-blowing to me. sometimes I think about it and I wonder how, like, me and the rest of my family are even fucking related. Like, just to marry into families like the fucking Farkases and the Schminklers, you have to be pretty fucking brain, in my opinion, honestly. Yeah. Things speak for themselves. I think, I don't know, looking back, like, just learning from my, like, parents, my sisters, I've seen mistakes that my mom made, I've seen mistakes that my sisters made, just in life and work, and, like, how, you know, a woman and her family should be treated and respected, and I know what it takes, and it takes a lot, and it's something you have to be really willing to do, to commit to not have things based off of fucking bullshit or superficiality. You know, that's not what serious relationships should be based off of. They should be based off of real fucking things. You know, I don't know. There's a lot of, but I don't know. You shouldn't, I don't think you should fake things like marriage or, like, stay together for things that are not real. But I have a very odd relationship with my family. I was the youngest by a long shot. Wasn't really around them as I grew up. So we weren't very close, and I was like the last of my parents' children, so there was always a lacking of respect, and, like, things that I did were just kind of taken for granted my whole life, and I don't let people take the things that I do for granted anymore. Very simple. But I don't know. I'm not saying I'm, like, looking for a relationship, because I'm not anytime soon, that's for sure. I have a lot of things, a lot of goals, a lot of things I still have to take care of. But I guess I think I have to see a lot in order to see an opportunity that's worth committing to, you know, committing different things. Even just committing my feelings and getting over, you know, just trusting somebody after I've been through so much fucking bullshit. But I think I'm not naive to jump into anything that I shouldn't jump into, which is a good thing. And I acknowledge, like, certain things in my past, I made mistakes, I made poor decisions on things that should have mattered more at the time, and I put, like, superficial things like my grades, like school, like, my goals, that maybe passed up on opportunities that I probably shouldn't have. Looking back, I didn't realize how rare they were, with certain girls that I met in my past that I didn't commit to because I wasn't in a situation where I felt like I could commit. There's a few instances, you know, during college, after college, where I put other things first, and now I realize that, like, those opportunities that I had were pretty rare. They were really good opportunities, with people who I definitely could have gotten to know better. But life goes on, I guess. I don't know. I think as my sisters aged and grew up, I think what the problem was that my father, he made some pretty fucking shitty decisions, and he also lost his fucking set of balls as my sisters got older and let them just fucking kind of, like, make poor fucking decisions. That's my own personal opinion. But you gotta, even when they're not your mistakes and you see other mistakes, like, be able to identify them and learn from them, and, you know, ultimately put yourself in better situations because of you're able to do that. And, like, my family they have a serious issue with, like, the little version of myself, and they can't get the little version of myself, like, out of their heads. They can't do it. They're incapable. I've tried for years, and there's not much hope. Like I'm not gonna say a big reason, but like vlogging has helped me in a therapeutic way, honestly. Just like talk about things that nobody wanted to listen to, get my, point across, just hear myself, rethink things, go over things, and make sense out of things. And that's what therapy does for a lot of people. When I was looking for therapy, the pandemic hit, COVID hit, and everything was fucking online. And online stuff wasn't going to do much for me. It wasn't going to help me. The time value I was going to get out of it was not going to be beneficial to me. And I used YouTube. I used vlogging to help me talk about things and get things out that some people want to listen to, very few. Most people fucking didn't want to listen to me. And a big part of it was because they had more respect for the company that I worked for than me. They were saying two very different things from the beginning, and it made people, their lack of credibility for me because of, I've talked about, things that I've done, stupid things, from drinking, like peeing too much, peeing my pants and shit. Oh, my eye. Got something in my eye. Crashing a car, almost getting arrested numerous times from and related incidents to drinking. I lost credibility for my community, and the job I worked for, they didn't give a fuck about that. They challenged that credibility, that lack of credibility. They used their professional aesthetics fucking bullshit to, disagree with what I had to say, and I lost credibility further. And then my family's lack of respect for me, made the situation even worse. And I think at this point, my family, they almost choose to be blind out of selfishness because of the relationships that they've built, friends that they've made growing up, and just poor judgment and lack of accountability. And you know what? I'm just not that fucking respected and important to fucking people, and I'm where I need to be. And people can only help themselves at this point. Everybody can help themselves at this point, including myself. And I know exactly what I need to do to get myself in, a more comfortable state physically and mentally. And I've been working towards that since I've been able to. And things have gotten better, and things are only going to get better for me. I hope that it's the same for everybody else. But I think at this point, there's situations where people just can't help one another, because other people need to help themselves first before I would ever even consider letting them back into my life, basically. And I know that letting anybody back in my life that made my life fucking hell is only gonna be a mistake for myself if those people don't help themselves first, because they need help themselves first, and they're unwilling to accept that and acknowledge that they have poor judgment. And a part of that is the relationships that they built and the friendships that they built. And it's out of selfishness. Accepted blindness out of selfishness is how I identify it at this point for some people. And I've talked about it in the past. Like when we went camping, I saw red flags. I saw red flags in my sisters growing up. Sometimes it wasn't easy to see because I was young and I was, growing and learning in my own. And I spent a lot of time playing video games, sheltered for the beginning portions of my life. But looking back, it's easy to see that my sisters kind of always gravitated towards assholes and losers. My definition of them, maybe not the superficial definition that some people would have, but that's where I make the comment. Like my father, he was working, coming home, later hours and stuff, and my mom was doing a lot of shit with a lot of kids and started to work and stuff, and things just became so much. And that's where I say I think my father lost a set of balls, helping my sisters make better judgments as they got older. There was definitely a lacking in that department, and that's why I wish at times I had been the oldest sibling. Maybe not the biggest individual for my size or my age, but the only reason I didn't play football my senior year in high school was because I knew what I brought to the table every fucking day in practice, and I was undersized, and my undersized nature created superficial stupidity in my coach's heads that made it think like I was going to get hurt or something when I played football my whole life. And I was damn pretty good at it, up until the point where I had a growth stunt. And even when I was, smaller for my size, the times I did play, I got more frustrated every practice, seeing people miss practice, fucking starting games. And I fucking, showed up at practice every day and gave it my all. And I was undersized, like I said, and I became like a joke. But when we did shells before games, like one of the kids I grew up playing football with, I used to be his fullback, and I used to block for him, and he was the kind of kid that you gave him the ball and he fucking scored like 4 or 5 times a game and would have been like a Division II running back. He would have focused on school, and he would have, put, as much work into his ability as he could if he could have been at least Division II running back. And just growing up playing with kids like him my whole life, and then not getting any fucking respect because of my size. I fucking, day before a game, we'd go shells, no, pads or anything. I would just fucking hit him as hard as I wanted to hit people in the fucking games. Because the only time I got to hit people was in fucking practice. Even though we were like an hour before a game, everyone's going like nonchalant. I was like, can I wake these fucking coaches up? They're fucking brain dead. And I'd pop them in shells. And I was the safety, so I was the furthest one back on the defense, and I would run up, and I would fucking point of attack, fucking hit him. I hit him to the point where I wanted him to fucking tell me to stop hitting him so hard. But he wasn't a bitch, so he didn't say anything. And I was just trying to wake the coaches fucking up. Are they brain dead? And it got to the point where I did it the whole fucking season. Showed up at practice every day, watched people fucking miss practice, start in the games, and I said, this fucking coaching staff doesn't deserve my fucking time. And I didn't play my senior year, and people asked me about it, and that's fucking why I didn't play football my senior year, because we had a fucking brain dead fucking coaching staff when I played in high school, the years I did play, in my opinion. So everyone's got their own fucking opinion, I guess. I don't know, but that was mine. And I wasted time playing football when I should have fucking gotten to wrestling, and probably could have gotten some kind of a fucking scholarship if I trained at a young age. What I ended up finding out, anytime I ever, what I learned from just being challenged by fucking people, anytime messing around, roughhousing with people, I should have got into wrestling at a young age, and now it's probably not worth my time. But who knows? There's some money to be made in the content creation fighting game. I'm like a lose-lose situation for anybody. So I'd have to entice somebody once I fucking started actually working out, because there's fucking people who, their brain works like that. They see opportunities, like challenges, like the physical dominance challenges, and that is like the catalyst for how people pick fights sometimes. And that's my opinion, where something like that may actually happen, is I'd have to fucking work out first, and then all the shit that I've talked about and ran my mouth in these videos would follow through, and someone would say, why not? Just as my power station has to recharge its battery, I gotta recharge my batteries. What'll happen is I'll put the chips in, and then I dump the sauce on, and the sauce, a lot of it goes to the bottom of the cup. So what I do is I turn it horizontally, and I let the sauce. Oh! There's a chip. Not a second one. I let the sauce roll on the edges. Normally, chips don't fall out. Keep it on the side. And I just let the sauce slither around the outside of the chips before I Scoop them up and devour them.
Super win! Claim 12 million free coins!
Big win!
Sign up for NBA League Pass and catch tonight's biggest moments. Sync your subscription within the Buzzer app to easily catch the best NBA action from anywhere. Sign up and watch now.
Choose your favorite characters. Using different elements is key to win. Combine them, unleash devastating combos, and get the victory. Dragon Ball Legends. Play now!